What's going on, my babies? Welcome back to another episode of the Spiritual Word. As always, I apologize for any noises in the background in advance and anything of that nature. And before I start these, I like to start these off with a disclaimer by stating that these are for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research to come to your own conclusions, to have your answers, to make your own decisions. And I believe in your ability to do so and to be your own person. So, yesterday, I said I was going to talk about transmutation today, but I don't think I can do that today. So, what I do want to talk about is affirmations. And affirmations that I'm not going to sit here and be like, affirmations that actually work, because I don't think that it'll work for everybody. And I think that certain affirmations don't work for some people because they don't believe them. And they don't believe that it can work. So, first things first, you're always using affirmations, regardless of the fact that you're conscious of that or not. Like for example, I was observing this person at work that I work with, and this person's a very fiery person in the sense that, like, one spark will light them up. And that spark doesn't even have to be strong, and it doesn't have to be big, and it's a very, very subtle spark. And the spark itself doesn't even have to be big. That's what, like, I've realized. And that, me observing this person has made me realize that we're constantly using affirmations, and affirmations are not what people think they are. It's not like you sit in the mirror and you're like, I'm beautiful, I'm perfect, I'm what. It's like you use them constantly. Like in those moments where you feel like absolute garbage and you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I am absolute garbage. Just because you feel garbage, that's an affirmation. And in moments where you're so fucking pissed off, and you're sitting there and you're like, I'm pissed. That's an affirmation, because you're feeling angry and now you're saying that you're angry, which further confirms your feelings. Or your affirmations can be thoughts, because it doesn't even have to come out of your mouth. Once you think it, that's enough. And another form of affirmation that you don't realize is happening is your thoughts mixing with your feelings. Like most of the time, your thoughts won't necessarily trigger feelings, but your feelings will trigger thoughts. Like if somebody cheats on you or something like that, then that will trigger a thought of like, oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do? Or something of that nature. And that will then, the thoughts trigger another feeling of like, damn, what did I do? What did I do? And it's like a cycle that's repeating itself. It's like a little figure eight until you get out of it, or until it exhausts itself, or until something takes you out of it. Like when little kids are sad and you're like, you want to go get some ice cream or something? And they're like, yeah, let's go get ice cream. And then you go get ice cream. And they forget about it. All about it. So it's like that. But obviously for grown-ups it's a lot different, because most of the time ice cream's not going to fix your problems. Just like whatever the case, it won't fix your problems. So you continue to think about those problems or whatever those things are. And for some people, they have a really easy time thinking about the good things about life. So, it's easy for them. But this is targeted for the people who are like really negative overthinkers, just because I'm one of those people. So like I get that. And I have a very fluid way of existing. So like it's kind of easy for me to flip from both of them. And because it's easy for me to flip, I understand these things. But like not on a deeper level, but like I understand these things, so I understand other people easily. And in me observing this person at work who's very fiery and who can get lit up after one little tiny spark, the tiny spark could be you stating a meme or you quoting a meme and they're like, ew, that was irritating. Or it could be something as simple as you repeating something over and over. And that has made me realize that this person, when they say they're angry or that's irritating, that's feeding it their feelings. And then they just continue to get more and more and more and more angry throughout the shift. And so, in moments where you're having feelings arise in you, no matter what those feelings are, no matter how strong those feelings are, if you're using thoughts or words, it becomes an affirmation. And the affirmations are what create your identity. And your affirmations aren't like an identity. Like nothing is really an identity. So you can also do that when it comes to the good things. Like when you're having a really, really good day, tell yourself and repeat it to yourself like, this is a good day. I am having a wonderful time. I am wonderful. I deserve to have a good time. And use those positive emotions to back up your positive affirmations. A lot of people, they don't use affirmations because they think, bullshit. I can't just sit in the mirror and be like, I'm beautiful, I'm perfect. Everything that I'm seeking is also seeking me, because you don't feel that to be true. And a lot of people, they think that they're lying to themselves when they're trying to praise themselves, which is so weird to me because you're lying to yourself when you're downplaying yourself, when you're stepping on yourself, when you're saying, I am a piece of shit. So why can't you lie to yourself to get yourself to not feel like that? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they feel like they're like, how do I explain this? Like they're worthy of accepting bullshit, if that makes sense. Like they are only worthy of expecting or accepting the worst shit ever. Like they deserve the worst. And people really believe that to be true in their little heart, in their little soul, that they believe that they deserve the worst shit ever. And I've never really understood that because just because life is hard and shit, because everybody's life is fucking hard. Everybody. It's just at what level. But, you know, people think that they deserve that because life is giving you that. But, you know, life doesn't know. Like, life isn't the awareness. You are the awareness. You are the experiencer. The experience itself doesn't know what's going on. You know? And I always talk about the way that reality works and stuff like that. And if you want to see more positive stuff, you have to feel more positive. Because then you don't pay attention to the shit that happens that's really negative. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I really didn't pay attention to negative stuff. Even though my life, compared to some of my friends, was hard. And compared to some other friends, I was blessed. So, I really didn't pay attention to the hard shit that happened. Even though there was some hard stuff, like, I did have a lot of trauma when it came to, like, certain things. And, you know, I did have a lot of lack of guidance, and, you know, a lot of financial hardships. But I think that I never paid attention to those, and for a good reason. Like everybody around me was so negative already. And you know that saying, you either sink or swim. I was swimming, but I was swimming unconsciously. I was swimming because it was my natural reaction to the things that were happening as I was watching other people sink. So I learned how to swim. And in me learning how to swim, I always wanted to like help other people, pull them up, but in pulling other people up, I didn't realize that it was drowning myself. So now I do this, and I teach you how to swim. But I can only do so much, and I don't let it drown me because I'm not physically attached to you in any way. So I don't know how I got here, but I got here. And moral of the story: if you want to use affirmations and you don't feel like they're real, or you don't feel like they're true, or you don't believe in them or the power that they have, just do it for a month in situations where you normally wouldn't do it. Like, for example, if you go to the movie theaters with your friends and you're like, wow, I'm having a great time, use that good feeling to say positive affirmations, whatever you're trying to mentally instill in yourself. And when you're having negative emotions, don't think, don't feed it, allow it to be in you, notice it, and allow it to dissipate. Like, for example, when I have moments where I'm like, this particular person at work will be like agitating, and I wasn't gonna say the gender, but his irritation will sometimes try to latch on to me in the sense that I'm like, it's really not that deep. You know what I mean? So I don't really get agitated at work a lot. Like, it really doesn't happen a lot. And if it does happen, it's usually because people aren't doing their shit and I have to pull their weight and I'm not about to pull their weight, but I'm the one that gets in trouble for not pulling their weight. So that irritates me. But when that happens, I just sit there and I accept what it is. And I'm like, okay. But I also ain't stupid and I'm not going to let people take advantage of me. And most of the shit that I do at work is like fucking disgustingly easy. So, like, I really don't even care. It just irritates me that, like, if I'm incompetent and I can figure all this shit out, your bitch asses can do the same thing. I'm not smart. Well, I'm not that smart. And all this shit's not that hard. You know what I mean? Like, I be slow. At work, I barely know what's fucking going on, but in general, I barely know what's going on. But if I can sit here and figure it out, so can you. Anyways, so I forgot what I was talking about. Um, anyways, I hope that this was helpful in any way, shape, and form. We were talking about affirmations, right? So, if you feel like you don't have control over your emotions, and what I mean by control is like make yourself feel something. If you don't have the capabilities of making yourself feel something, use the things that already make you feel something to feed it into a positive direction. Like, for example, if you go out with your friends and you really enjoy that, put positive affirmations behind it so it'll feed itself. But use affirmations that you believe to be true now and slowly build on those. Like, if you're having a good time with your friends, talk about how much of a good time you're having. And when you are having like a bad time, like let's say you go to work or you go to school or you're at home and something happens and it really pisses you off or it really makes you sad, just feel into that, but don't feed it. Don't feed it with your thoughts. Don't feed it with your words. Just let it be. And allow it to naturally dissipate. Like, if you put a flame in front of uh, what's called a fan, it's gonna blow the candle out. You know what I mean? If you put a candle in front of a fan, it's gonna blow the flame out. And so that's what you're naturally doing by not feeding it. Time will do it for you. Time will dissipate that for you. Time being the fan. Your feelings being the flame. So, Allow yourself to just sit in front of the fan that is time. And just sit there and conserve your energy and just try to relax. As hard as that might be. And feel into the space. Like, if I get irritated because people at work aren't doing their job, I'll just sit there and feel spacious. And take my time in doing the tasks that I get told to do, because I'm not breaking my back for no company but my own. So find ways to like empower yourself, but do it in good, positive, helpful ways for yourself. And being able to help yourself is being able to help one person, and that's how you change the world. Help yourself. Anyways, thanks for tuning in and tapping in. As always, my babies, I love you and I appreciate you, and I thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.